All right, y'all. I got a Sunday story time. You know, I be spilling all my dirt, but the Lord has let me know for sure that my dirt is helping somebody. So I'm gonna keep showing up. We can't learn how the enemy be coming if we keep it all to ourselves. We don't learn how the Lord be coming if we keep it all to ourselves. So, in that. All right, my story time today is about how when I finally let the Lord do what He needed to do with my sexual immorality. You know, with my fornication. Yeah. So, like, I told you guys the whole story about when I fake did this, when I said that I was, letting the Lord take control over everything regarding my love life, and then I was like, ooh, except for that little thing, let me just hold on to that, and then how all hell broke loose with that, right? So after that, I did become serious. Like, okay, this was at the end of 2024, and let's say it was during the third quarter of 2024. So I hadn't had intercourse in months. The beginning of the story, where the story takes place, I hadn't had intercourse in probably like 5 or 6 months. I'll give the correct answer here. But no, it was like, okay, Lord, we for real this time. And even before that, I had said I was going to be celibate, and it didn't work out. That's what I was referring to earlier. But okay, we are good about 5 or 6 months strong now. So no, it's not something that I'm pacing day by day. No, I actually gave it up. I gave it up to the Lord, and He had also cleaned me up from watching my graphic adult content. He cleaned that up too. Everything dealing with sexual immorality, fornication, that I had explained, lust, that I had explained in my other story time, it was gone by now. So I'm walking strong with the Lord. And again, it's not like I'm counting the days and the months. This is just my life. This is my life until I find a husband, right? Well, I'll restate it. This is my life until the Lord tells me that this is not my life. That was my mindset at the time. So, this was December of 2024, where I had me and a guy were talking, for about a month now. And I was into it, It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing to be bragging about, talking about. We had, he wasn't whining and dining me, whatever. It wasn't that special, but I was going along with it. I think I explained already by the time I post this that I'm a one dater at a time, and then I had my reasons for that. So this was the person that I was seeing or talking to now, and he hadn't started putting pressure about sex yet, but little did I know that was coming. But so again, I'm walking strong in my celibacy, and at the same time, I wasn't having any intimacy with him. We weren't in the physical situation that put us in a place that we could have any intimacy, and I also knew better. So he wasn't finna be we weren't gonna be in constricted quarters that could lead us into doing something that I didn't want to do, as far as fornicating. So the stage wasn't even finna be set up for me to have any type of physical intimacy fulfilled in that way. So there are other ways to be physical intimate by, love language is physical touch. We wasn't doing that either. So while there is a clear difference between having sex and then feeling physical intimacy, some people don't understand that there's a clear difference. It's hard for some people to differentiate, but I had that understanding. There's a difference. So I wasn't stuck on that, but I will say that from the guy that I reneged on what me and the Lord was doing earlier that year, I was experiencing the physical intimacy that I would have liked to outside of even sex. He was very touchy. He was good with physical touch. So for me not having that, I did feel a little deprived. I'm trying to get used to, again, it's not about the sex. I was trying to get used to a few things, come out the heels of that. I was trying to get used to not really having anybody really involved with me. Again, me and this guy had been talking for, me and this new guy had been talking for a month now, but it was very slow paced, almost stagnant. Now I won't say it was stagnant. Me and him was we were getting to know each other really well, but there was a piece missing. It wasn't bothering me that it was missing until this next piece of the puzzle comes in. So I'm just setting the stage up for what I'm gonna open up with later. So let's put a pin into that. So that's where my headspace is at right now. Physical intimacy is nice. I'm not really having it with the new guy that I'm talking to, but I'm not lonely. I'm not, I'm not feeling, but I am having somebody that's fitting the need of just me having what feels like romantic interest in interaction. At this time, I enjoyed having that. So also at this time of my life, I believed in maintaining male friendships. So we put a pin into all of that, and I'm moving on with this. I've had male friends, and I've spoken about this in other videos too. Just to put this in a nutshell, there were circumstances where I felt like, hey, these my homeboys, like these my friends, these my like the male friendships that I had. We're friends. That's it. We're just friends. Even if there was a level of physical attraction, like it was never nothing where it's like, okay, let's see where this go. Like there wasn't a curiosity attached to it with this specific person I'm gonna tell y'all about. We have been friends for years, and we were kind of. So here's the thing. I get really close with my friends, male, female. I get really close with them, meaning that the friendships mean a lot to me, and I'm wide open with them. I talk to them about anything I want to talk to them about, and friendships are relationships that have been very dear to me, and like I love them. I love them. I love my friends, male or female. I've been a loyal friend. Okay. Friendships also fluctuate. When I say that, I mean sometimes there are times where you have a friend that, just life getting away, especially if you have several friends or, maybe a husband or a boyfriend or, your kids. There are other relationships that cause certain seasons that you're not as close to certain people. And, but, they're still your friends and all that. So with this guy, there had been seasons where we hadn't been so much in touch. I say that probably happens more often with co-ed friendships, where it's just like kind of life just kind of take y'all away from each other, especially if there are significant others involved, where it's like, okay, well, my man don't like me to be this close, or vice versa, where a woman might feel that way about her man being with close to another woman. Anyway, I saw that to say that there was a point in time where me and this guy friend was a lot closer in college. Just wasn't ever like that, where it was just like, oh, this is anything more than my friend. We were friends. We were friends. And you know how, all right, I can look at, okay, I see why other people are attracted to him. He's an attractive man. His face, I can see where his face is handsome. I can see where his body is nice, but he's never on my list of, I'm attracted to him. I like him. I like chai tea, but he peppermint tea, so he's not my cup of tea. Even though I enjoy the way peppermint tea smells. I can see why other people like it. I'm gonna go for the chai tea. It's like that. So we have set up this relationship that is platonic. Even back when we did converse more and everything back in college, it can be to the point where we can share a bed together all night and nothing will happen. And this has happened multiple times. So I understood that to be the kind of relationship that we had with each other. Like we were close. We can be close to each other, especially like in proximity. We can have skin to skin contact with each other, and it didn't have to be sexual. It not even that it didn't have to be sexual. It wasn't going to be sexual. We weren't kissing. It was not that. It was not that. Even situations like I miss my friend, I want to see my friend. So I mean, you do that with your girlfriends if you're a girl. You do that with your guy friends if you're a guy. Like I don't know how guys do it, but like, bro, let's go hang out this place, or I don't know, come over, let's watch. I don't know, but you do miss your friends. So again, this is not feeling romantic. This don't have nothing to do with sex. That's not the kind of friendship we had. Okay, so fast forward. Fast forward to, again, I was just explaining what would occur in college. But okay, even, as an older adult in my upper 20s, in my younger 30s, it was acceptable for us to talk to each other, have a conversation. It was acceptable even with me in marriage. The concept of us getting together and seeing each other, it wasn't on no type of romantic type of time. It just wasn't, y'all. Fast forward to, I'm in this space where I've been divorced almost a year, dating, I'm single, but I'm talking to this guy, but that's my friend over there. So is it okay for me to hang out with my friend while I'm talking to this guy? Yes. Why would that be a problem? It was never a problem. The difference is, and Lord, Holy Spirit, help me tell exactly what this is, Lord. I felt very close to this man, and in a different type of way. The guy who I'm talking to, like in a way that it don't compare to what my heart wants to give to my friend. I'm connected to him. Low key, if I had to choose between him and the guy that I'm talking to of, hey, let's go do something, I would choose my friend. Because my friend has been there for years. And right now, this guy I'm talking to, I don't know how expendable he is right now. You know, he could be here today and gone tomorrow. So the value is different. Not that I had to compare them and like put them up against each other. I'm just, as my audience right now, my story time, I'm just letting y'all know so y'all can get a full picture of how I feel about my friend. It wasn't in the same arena because, again, I told y'all I date one person at a time. This ain't had nothing to do with me dating. This ain't had nothing to do with me talking to the guy. Like, all right, so one night, my friend wants to come over. And this was around my friend's birthday. So like my friend, I was talking to him on his birthday and he wasn't having a great day. And he had made a comment maybe like a day or two, a couple of days before about a cake that I posted because I'm a baker. So I was like, to my mind, I'm like, so he had said somebody, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make the cake for him. I'm gonna surprise him. I'm gonna make him a cake. And for his birthday. So I did that. And I invited him to come over to get his cake, like happy birthday. It was a weeknight and I don't have people coming in my house and stuff with my daughter. So you know, the later that it got, it was just like, okay, this is not gonna happen today. Even though it's for your birthday, just come tomorrow. Just, you know, he agreed and then he was gonna come the next day. So we were setting it up for him to come the next night, but the next night was a weekend. I was gonna be home alone and he suggested that he come over and stay. And I know we're not in college no more, I know that. To me, college would have been more of the time for, okay, we young and in our hormones, we don't make good long-term decisions. And, you know, the mind of a 18, 19, 20-year-old. So to me, you know, this is just me talking after everything I'm going to tell you has already happened. To me, the thought of something going left when it could have probably would have happened back then when we were younger. Like, we never had anything sexual or anything like that. Again, even sleeping in bed together, in the bed, sleeping together, nothing. When it comes to the present day of this story, I don't know whether it was just me being naive. I don't know whether it was just me being, I can't agree with the naive. I can't agree with being naive. I think, though, that I was being too trusting of the situation. A part of me wanted to say naive because I didn't believe that he was attracted to me like that. I did believe, like, in the what I described, I thought it was the same. I understand that my friend is an attractive person. This is how I thought he felt about me. I understand that she's an attractive person, but I'm not attracted to her. We're not romantically compatible, and you know it's not going to be that way. If we, you know, there might be flirtatious remarks or something, but that's what men and women do, kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know, but that was my thoughts at the time. That was my thoughts. So when I felt like there was no harm in him coming over and spending some time with me, like I wanted to spend time with him. I genuinely did. And I wanted to feel close to somebody. I will say that. I understand that having a slumber party with my best girlfriend is not going to carry the same energy as having a slumber party with my best guy friend. But I leaned into that. It's like, it's a bond. It's a different kind of bond of a friendship and a closeness when it's somebody of the opposite sex. It's a different kind. And I did enjoy the thought of feeling close to him. I did find comfort in that. which is why I agreed. But also, I now identify this as Holy Spirit telling me no. There were chances for me to exit before it actually happened, and I didn't take the exit routes. I didn't. This was a time I wasn't hearing as clearly as I do now. Um, like I wasn't noticing the Lord's voice as clearly as I notice it now. So in retrospect, I can see when the Lord was telling me like, you still got a chance to, you got a chance to fake like you sleep. You got a chance to just not respond. You got a chance to say not tonight. You got a chance to, you got about 40 different ways that you can get out of this. And I felt the pauses and I moved past them. Certainly nothing's gonna happen. We can watch this TV. You know, if you want to cuddle with me, we can cuddle. Because we had discussed that. We maybe not in the words cuddle, I don't know. But again, that wasn't foreign. You can sleep with your arm around somebody and not have sex. So to me, that was okay. That was perfectly fine. I trusted the situation so much more than I needed to. Again, I don't have all of these hormones and lust riling me up and going through me more. The Lord had already started cleaning that stuff up out of me well before this happened. So yeah, when it came to that, I wasn't thinking with my hormones. I was thinking with my head, or I was thinking with my heart. I wasn't thinking with my head and being smart. I was thinking with my heart of, I feel like I want to be close. I feel like this is my friend and I love him and this is fine. The situation is fine. The situation is manageable. If Because we had discussed this too. Like we discussed, the fact that we weren't going to, like I'll just say we discussed it in a way of like, all right, sir, make sure if I feel like you're getting handsy, you're gonna be stopped. Again, it's fine. We done slept together, cuddle. I done had to pull the reins back in, and he's very respectful of it. This is my friend. Like right there, like how I feel about him. Like let's say his name was Robert, I would be like, this is my Robert. Like that's how I felt about him. So that's not what happened. He came over after work, and I am not a victim of anything. He didn't pull any wool over my eyes. Nothing. Like he didn't take advantage of me. I feel like we were both two people who wanted to feel a closeness of somebody that we already trusted and loved. And it went too far. So this story is about how I was on the right path and I failed. And I failed. And God provided me exits that I thought that I didn't recognize. And I thought that I could have control over a situation where I didn't feel the Holy Spirit telling me you don't have control over this situation. So I was in a situation where I felt deprived and I didn't realize it. But again, that was the closeness that I wanted. So there was a deprivation there. I just didn't recognize it beforehand. But now that we're in this bed together with skin on skin contact, it was like we're here now. It got to a point of no return. And like it's not anything that he did. The situation was not a situation that I should have been in. Wisdom. It was hard for me to imagine that would have happened. Um, it's okay for us to touch. It's okay for you to massage me. I wanted that, but it didn't occur to me that it was going to get to a point where it was just like I wasn't going to be able to pump the brakes the way that I wanted to, even though my mind was telling me no. And the rest. Like it got to that point. Never would have imagined that. Somebody couldn't have been able to pay me to believe this. Like I honestly, it was like boom, boom, boom. Everything, the situation was set right up for this to happen this way, and my eyes was blind. So the aftermath, after we had intercourse, I was never lost in it. My mind the whole time kept reverting back to what am I doing? how did we get here? How did this get this far? So after it was over, I'm surprised I didn't break down crying as I was praying before I had closed my eyes to go to sleep. I'm just praying. And I might have had a desperation prayer before when I was doing something reckless when I was young. Like, you know, a Lord protect me after I just got through sinning type of desperation prayer. I don't know if you would have been there, but I would say, I can imagine, I don't know that this is true, but I can imagine maybe once, maybe twice, I had just got through being absolutely reckless and begging the Lord to forgive me and cover me and protect me from whatever I just got through being involved in. But this type of prayer was, Lord, it was just the most disappointing, just feeling. I felt horrible. I wasn't asking for protection. I was asking for forgiveness. Not only did I feel like I knew and understood my error in how did I do this to you, Lord? How did I allow that to happen? But I didn't want to be having sex. I genuinely didn't want to be having sex anymore. I had committed to the fact that I was celibate. And in my mind, I was committed to the fact that I did not want to be involved in sin. So I was hurt by the fact that I allowed for this to happen. And what grieved me even more was that I understood the weight of my sin at this point, and I knew what I was doing to the Lord. What also grieved me was the fact that I knew I had walked over a line with my friend that I hadn't before, and I didn't know what that looked like, and I didn't want to know what it looked like because I knew it was going to look like something that I didn't want. I knew I had opened up a door to a romantic situation. And I didn't want this to be a romantic situation. I had set my life up to, Lord, I only want who you want for me now. My husband, the man who you want to be my husband. The Lord didn't tell me nothing about my friend being my husband. I already knew that the Lord didn't have my friend as my husband. So now we have walked over this line to where I now understand that if you're not my husband, you're not going to be able to be my friend no more. Because I can't be friends with a man that I've had sex with and then have him in front of my husband. Neither can I act like we didn't open up a door that needed to be closed and that I would be able to continue to interact with you like it hadn't been open.